So today's recipe is this amazing Kesar Elaichi Shrikhanda. It's really easy to make and delicious to eat. So stay tuned to Akshata Chakka. And for that we need yogurt. Now to make homemade yogurt, just take a little bit, quarter teaspoon of homemade fresh yogurt and add it to half a liter of warm fresh milk. And then we're going to set this aside for at least minimum of 10 hours to set. And after that, you will see that your dahi is all ready, all set, and nice and thick. Now we're going to keep a sieve on top of a regular vessel. We're going to put a muslin cloth or a large handkerchief, and we're going to empty all of this dahi or yogurt, tie it up, and then we're going to let all the water drain out of this dahi. After all the water drains out, just put a heavy weight on it and keep it in the refrigerator for another 2 to 3 hours. Then it will look like this. This is called chakka. Now transfer this chakka onto a large bowl. And we are going to add an equal quantity of icing sugar or powdered sugar. So I'm adding about 1 cup of powdered sugar. You can add as per whatever sweetness you like. And then with a whisk, I'm going to whisk everything together to make it into a nice smooth shrikhanda. If you don't have an electric whisk, you can also put the entire mixture into a blender and blend it. And then use a sieve and strain it so you get a nice smooth paste, or you can even use a hand whisk. Now, since this is Kesar Elaichi, I've just peeled about 4 to 5 cardamoms or elaichis, and then I've just powdered them using a mortar and pestle, and then you get this very fine, fresh elaichi powder. Also, what I have done is I have soaked a few strands of saffron or kesar in 1/4 cup of very hot milk. Now we're going to continue beating this mixture till it is nice and light and smooth. So if you're buying dahi or yogurt from out, use about half a liter equivalent of dahi, which should be roughly about 2 cups or 2 to 3 cups of dahi. Now I'm going to be adding this lovely kesar or saffron. It adds a beautiful color to this shrikhanda. If you don't want to make it in this color, you can just skip the saffron. But I love this saffron color. So continue beating it till it's nice and light and fluffy. And now we're going to add our elaichi powder or cardamom powder to this mixture. And then we're going to mix everything very well together so that the entire shrikhanda gets nicely flavored. So give everything a good mix. And that's it, friend. Your shrikhanda is all ready. Isn't it super simple to make? It's so delicious. It goes so well with some hot puris. I like to eat it just like that after a meal, just a cup full of it, and it's so yummy. So I hope you like today's interesting, short and sweet recipe. masala chas recipe. Now let's go through the ingredients. Here I have about 1/4 cup of fresh coriander leaves which I've washed very well. Here is 1/4 cup of mint leaves or pudina. Again, wash the leaves really well. This is 1.5 cup of fresh curd. I will leave a link to how I make my homemade dahi or curd at home. This is just 1 green chili that I've just cupped up into 4. This is 1 teaspoon of roasted cumin powder. This is 1/4 teaspoon of pepper powder. Some salt to taste. And this is half a liter or 500 ml of ice cold water. All I've done is taken 500 ml of water and added some nice ice to it and kept it in the refrigerator. So let's start. So now I'm going to add the coriander leaves, the mint leaves and the chili to my mixer jar, and I'm going to make this into a very fine paste like this. Now I'm going to take a vessel like this in which I can mix everything. So first I'm going to add my dahi or curd or yogurt. Now if you don't have the homemade one, you can always use the ready-made dahi or yogurt. But do check out my recipe. It's super simple as to how to make your own dahi at home. Now I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of water to the ground paste, and I'm just going to mix it up well or stir it. And I'm going to add this now to the dahi or the yogurt. We're just going to stir it in well. Also friends, do check out my jaljeera recipe. I will leave a link for that and many other summer recipes in the description box below, which is just below this video. So you can just click on the down arrow, it'll all open up and you can see it. Now I'm going to add only about half the quantity, that is half the teaspoon of the coriander, of the roasted cumin powder, and only half the quantity of the pepper powder, some salt to taste. And I'm going to use my wooden whisk, but you can also use a regular whisk that you have. And I'm going to whisk this really well. Now, generally in my mind, I just count up to 100 whenever I'm making this chas or any buttermilk. But you can also time yourself for a minute on your watch or your on your phone. Just put a timer of 1 minute. And now I'm going to add the remaining cumin powder and the remaining pepper powder. And again, whisk for about half a minute. Now the reason is that when you whisk this buttermilk well, now I'm going to add the water a little at a time and whisk it. When you whisk this well, it really, everything gets incorporated very well, and it becomes very light and refreshing, this chas or this dak. So you need to whisk this really well. Now after adding the water, again I'm going to whisk it for 1 minute. So either you put a timer or you can just count to 100. Now, if you don't have either of the whisk, you can just put it into your mixer and blitz it. And you'll see this little bubbles on the top. That means your dak or your buttermilk or your masala chas is all ready. So I'm just going to transfer it into a pouring jar. And now it's time to serve this refreshing masala chas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it into these small glasses. Now I got a quantity of actually 6 small glasses with this quantity of half a liter. And ideally this has to be really nice and chilled, and you can even add some ice cubes if you want to. And now I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of the cumin powder on the top. And then I'm just going to place some mint leaves that I have at hand, or you can even chop up some mint leaves and coriander, blend of the two, chop it up really fine and garnish it. So this drink is a must.